Thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, one second. I'm going to mute everyone really quickly. Okay, so tonight I'm really excited because I feel like time management is like the number one thing that a lot of coaches get hung up on because like 95% of our team have full-time jobs, and it can be tricky to manage a full-time job coaching your family, hobbies, and all of that. So I'm going to give you lots of great material that Melanie Mitro gave me at the New Leader Conference. So from her mouth right into your ears. Before we get into that, I have 5 quick updates that I wanted to fill you guys in on. The first one is the Team Cup. So if you guys are on a Team Cup, stay engaged with your team, message to them, set weekly goals so that you're continuing to progress. Number 2, the Challenge Pack sales. There is 21-day fix for $140, 21-day fix kickstart, which includes everything that the 21-day fix does, plus the 3-day refresh, 21-day fix extreme, $140, 21-day fix extreme kickstart, $180, size, I think is one. Size for $140, size kickstart for $180, and a 3-day refresh for $140. So lots of great sales. And honestly, whenever I see one on sale for $140, I'm like, I get so excited inside because it's such an amazing deal. Shakeology alone is about $140 after shipping. So the fact that you're getting that plus a workout, plus potentially portion controlled containers, plus a meal plan, plus the streaming. It's just like so much and such a great deal. So make sure that you are talking it up and promoting at least one of those through messages. You can also do it through posts, but messaging people when I suggest programs, I always suggest one that is on sale so that it's kind of like, well, this one's on sale, or you can get the 205 option. So keep in mind those challenge pack sales. Number 3, we are going to start, as you know, having weekly team calls every Thursday at 8:30. And these last week and this week is all tips that I've learned from the New Leader Conference. But going forward, I'm going to be asking some of you guys to be a featured guest, and I'm going to be asking some other teams to be a featured guest because I truly believe that everyone is good at something, and we should be sharing that. And you don't want to always hear me talk, and I'm probably saying the same things over and over again to you. So I think it'll be really great for you to hear from your teammates and from completely other teams that may do things different. So be on the lookout for that. Number 4 are dates to know about. I'm going to be posting these in the with this recording, but I just wanted to share with you guys now so that you know what dates to look forward to in February. The next date is February 8th. That is our date for our Emerald Academy. So anyone who is looking to become Emerald, which is 2 coaches in your downline, should join the Emerald Academy on the 8th. And we're also doing a virtual PJ party. So that's very similar to our Coach Coffee Talk, where it's going to be at nighttime. That's a Monday night at around 9 p.m. We're going to do a coaching opportunity event, and I'll post more details about that. That is on the 8th. The 15th, which is Monday, and it's Monday, the 3rd Monday of the month, we're going to be starting a Diamond Academy. More information to come. It's going to be a trial with some certain coaches that we'll let you guys know about. February 21st is another Coach Coffee Talk, so another event that you guys can invite people to learn more about the coaching opportunity. And then the 22nd will be the Emerald Academy again. The Emerald Academy is only 1 week long, 7 days. So that's why we offer it twice a month to help new coaches get in there and hit those goals. Any questions about that before I get on to the presentation? Feel free to unmute yourself. Nope. Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and we can get right into the tips from Melanie Mitro. All right. So, for those of you guys that don't know, Melanie Mitro is the number one coach. She was number one in 2014 and 2015, and she is currently still number one. We get updates throughout the entire year of what we're ranked, and she's like has so many systems and is so brilliant and a great leader, and she's like a solid number one coach. She's going to be there for a while. She's also a superstar diamond, which is 15 stars in 3 different business centers of hers. So she's definitely a coach to follow. What we're going to be looking at tonight is making the most of your time. So as I mentioned, so many of us are very busy with our schedules in life. So this will hopefully help you guys get into a better routine so that you feel that you have some free time and that you're not spending any free moment doing Beachbody work. So getting right into it, when you sign up as a coach, you definitely will change your routine, right? You can't expect that you can sign up as a coach and your routine is going to be the exact same, because you have to do additional things. You have to be a product of the product. You have to work out. You have to eat healthy. You have to do personal development. So that alone requires you to maybe wake up a little bit earlier, go to bed a little bit later, and find that free time. So the first book, there's lots and lots of books that help with time management, but the first one that I suggest you read is called The Slight Edge. And this is actually free on YouTube. The entire book is audible through YouTube. So listen to that. And The Slight Edge, a slight recap, is it's all about the small, seemingly minute daily tasks that you do every single day that most people skip over because they seem so small, that separates you from those that succeed or that don't succeed. And one of the quotes from there is, "You are willing to do what other people are not willing to do now, so that you can have what other people wish they could have 3 years from now." So basically that means you putting in the time now will guarantee your success down the road. So many people just ignore these small tasks. They don't invite one day, they don't follow up the next, they take off 3 days. And even though that might not seem to make an impact that month, you might still hit Success Club, you might still be successful. 3 years from now, you'll notice that you don't have as stable of an organization and as strong as one as those people that do them daily. So definitely read that book or listen to the audio version. And just a reminder, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. You just have to find out which of those 24 hours you will use to move your business forward. So the very first thing, establish business hours. This is so important because, like I said, if you are squeezing in Beachbody work time throughout your entire day, you're going to go crazy and you're going to always be on. Like, you'll never have an off time or time to just think about nothing or read a book for fun, not a personal development book. You need business hours so that you can stay sane and so that you can also have that time where you will be getting work done. Outside of that, you will not be doing work. You'll find that you'll be much more efficient during that time. Set boundaries on business time. And what this means is, during your time, so let's say you set aside 2 hours in a day, that those 2 hours, you'll have everything that you need to do within those 2 hours, but put them into buckets. So, for example, one thing that all of us should be doing every day is inviting people. So maybe one bucket is invites. I'll do 5 invites to coaching and 5 invites to challenge groups. Another thing we should be doing is follow-ups. So I'll then do follow-ups. Another thing that I do on Thursdays, for example, is recognition. So that bucket is recognition. I'll spend 20 minutes creating the photos and then doing the posts. So think of everything you have to do and create buckets and times to do that in. And keep your focus on what moves your business forward. If you don't know what that means, pay attention to this slide. Recognize time-wasting activities. It does you no good whatsoever to to work for 2 hours if your work is scrolling Facebook, right? We all do it. I scroll Facebook daily. That's still something that I'm trying to work on, but this does not help my business whatsoever. So identify when you find yourself scrolling, just give yourself a little smack and get out and focus on the activity that you set aside for that time. Another one, snooze button. So a lot of coaches need to start waking up a little bit earlier to squeeze in their Beachbody work. This is a perfect example of you doing what other people are not willing to do right now to get to where you want to be in 3 years. So many people will set their alarm for 5 a.m. and press snooze and sleep in that day, or not do their workout that day so they can sleep in a little bit longer. But working out, eating healthy, doing all that stuff, getting up at 5 a.m. if you need to, is what we need to do to get all of our activities done that day. So don't snooze, get up and hit the ground running. Reduce distractions. Here, there's a couple different ideas. So if you guys do a lot of your invites, follow-ups, posting, all of that on a computer, just turn your phone completely off or turn it upside down and put it in the other room. That way, you won't be distracted by people texting you or calling you or seeing those random app updates that come up on your phone. So remove the phone from your area. You can also turn off notifications, which I highly recommend, especially for new coaches. Turn off your notifications in all of the groups that you're part of. So depending on what team you're on, turn them off in the Lux Republic, Team Supercharged, the Fit Boss Academy. Turn them off in all of those, and that way you won't be notified a million times each day. You'll only be notified when you're tagged in a post, so that you know you have to, that's something you should definitely look at that day. And turn them off as long as one of your activities that day is to check into the groups. Because we do post very valuable information and tips and tricks throughout the day. So it's good to check in, but you don't need to be getting those notifications every hour or when people comment on something you commented on. So turn them off, just check into the group once a day. Oh, another quick thing with this that I love is the Messenger app. So what I do is when I'm on Facebook, if you go to the chat that's in the lower right corner, there's a little button that you can click, and it's for settings, and you can turn off chat. I turn it completely off. So when I'm on Facebook, I'm specifically posting. I don't get notifications of messages coming up. So that when I do have to do follow-ups and invites, I go to messenger.com and I go off of Facebook. So I'm specifically just doing messages at that time. So that's really helped me, because I used to be the type that I would be focusing on doing a post and then suddenly 3 people message me and I could back them right away. So focus on your activity at the time. Okay, next, my weekly planning session. And I will be sharing screenshots exactly of what Melanie's planning is. Hers is a little bit different than most of yours because she coaches full time, but it might help you see what you can do and what tweaks you might want to make in your own schedule. But what she does is she brainstorms a master to-do list. So everything that she needs to accomplish that week. And then she chooses what are the most important things she needs to do this week. So there might be some silly things on there that can be pushed off that aren't that important. She needs to know just what definitely needs to be done. Then she loads up her calendar for the week ahead. She syncs it to her phone so that if she's out and about, she can see what's up next. She can also, when you sync it to your phone, you can share it with somebody else. So if you have a husband or family, friends, whoever, that should know what you're up to, especially like at nighttime, if you have a team call or something, let other people know about it. Set your business hours. So you'll see these red chunks is family time for Melanie. And the pink chunks is also, it says Landon and family time. That's her son and family time. So those are the times that she is completely checked out. And it might seem silly to add family time, but as coaches, as all of you probably know, and if you're new, you'll learn to find out, coaching becomes addicting. It's so much fun when you get clients who really need your help and want to talk with you at all hours, or coaches that really want to build their teams and their passion excites you. And it's so much fun working with coaches that really want to run with the business, and it can take up a lot of time. So add in the family time or boyfriend time or me time. You need time to unplug. So plan that as well. When it's time, it's go time. So here is a little bigger view of what Melanie does. So at 5 a.m., she wakes up. She doesn't snooze. Right away, she works out and then does the 3 vital behaviors, which is, well, one is working out. So then she does personal development while she's showering, and she then drinks her Shakeology afterwards. Then between 7 and 12, she reviews messages, emails, creates blogs, does her videos, does the chunk of her work then. And she also prioritizes responses. So some of you might be getting to the point where you have a pretty big team or lots of challengers that are asking you questions. And it might seem harsh, but when you are stuck to a time, especially those of you that only have an hour each day, prioritize who you respond to. So you can see a little snippet of what whoever's messaging you is saying. So read that snippet however much you can. And if it seems like something that they can answer on their own, that's not a priority. They can find it elsewhere. If it seems like something that they need your help right away, that is a priority. So kind of use your best judgment. And sometimes your response might be, check out this FAQ, because you don't have time to explain it when it is somewhere. They just need help finding it. And if you get everything done within that time that you allot for yourself, work on other tasks. So that's when you can start planning more posts for the next week or the weekend, creating fun videos that you can share, anything like that. Always ask yourself, is this a business building activity or time wasting activity? And I do this probably every 20 minutes or so, just naturally. Because what I do, I'll start inviting someone and then I'll realize that I'm getting into a deep conversation with them and I haven't finished my invites. So I stop and I finish my invites. Whenever you're scrolling Facebook, ask yourself, are you really building your business by just scrolling Facebook, not engaging with anyone and just seeing what people are doing? You're not. Are you really moving your business forward if you're snoozing and skipping your workout that day? No. So just ask yourself that question and be real, be honest with yourself, because it'll teach you what you should be doing tomorrow. Personal development happens whenever you can find the time to do it. So you don't have to just sit down and read a book. I don't have the attention span for reading. And so what I do, I have the app called Audible. And there's another one called Scribed, which I just downloaded. But that is where you listen to books. And so I listen to my books when I'm showering or when I'm out walking somewhere or taking a tea downtown or something. But you can do it when you're driving. For those of you that commute into work, that's a perfect time for personal development. When you're getting dressed, when you're doing laundry, anything like that. Make it work for you. Personal development is so important, and a lot of people skip that. But I've heard somewhere that you can't fill up your cup when it's empty. So you can't be dishing out advice and helping other people when you haven't helped yourself yet. So do your personal development that's like your daily dose of encouragement and tips and ideas, and everything's coming in and it'll make you so positive. Then get to inviting and following up with people and helping your clients. Okay. Another book that I recommend for you for time management is Eat That Frog. That is one of the best, actually probably the best time management book that I've read so far. I listened to it actually on Audible, and it was such a quick read. And the theory is that the frog is the one activity, it's a super important activity that you hate doing and you usually put off to the end of the day. But it's so important that if you wait until the end of the day and you miss it, that will hurt your business. For Melanie, that's inviting people. That's also for me. I don't necessarily like to invite people to anything. So that means that that's your frog. You should be doing that first. Tackle that right in the beginning of the morning so that it's done and over with. The longer you put it off, the more likely it is that you won't do it. So take some time and really think about what that is for you. Is it inviting? Is it following up? Is it doing your workout? So think about that and prioritize that frog. Make sure it's important enough to prioritize, but make sure that you're doing that every day. And try and do it as soon as you can when you sit down to begin your business hours. A great tip that a lot of top coaches are recommending now is using a timer. So yes, you set business hours, but what happens when you don't set a timer and say from 8 to 9 p.m. is your power hour, and suddenly you've been talking to one person for that whole hour. You haven't done anything else. That happens all of the time. A great tip to not allow that to happen is set a timer. So based on the amount of time you're allotting to each activity, say 10 minutes to inviting, set a timer for 10 minutes and invite. That is not your time to respond to people. That is only your time to invite people to coaching and or a challenge group. Then set another 10 minutes to just expand your network. You might see messages coming in from the people you just invited, but it is not your time to respond yet. Expand your network. The next 10 minutes or 20 minutes might be inbox time. So that is when you can respond. Respond then. The next 10 minutes might be creating posts for tomorrow that you can plan ahead. Only do posts. So set a timer and only do those activities during them. Again, prioritize your responses because you will at times get questions from challengers that aren't urgent. You don't need to answer them right away. So stay focused. The 80-20 rule is that you should be spending 80% of your time on you and building your business and 20% of the time on your team. I've also heard 70-30, but the point is spend time on you. So no matter how big you get, Melanie Mitro does the 80-20 rule. So she's huge, right? She's the #1 coach, super strong, has such a strong team, and she still spends 80% of the time on herself, doing her own invites, following up, expanding her network, posting, all of that. So never lose focus of your activities. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, because helping my team and you guys is my passion. Like, I love working with you guys, seeing your guys' excitement about your goals and your questions and all of that. I love working with you guys. And for me, it's so easy to work with you all day and skip my invites and skip my follow-ups. And I did get into that time period where I was doing that. And I was hitting my goals, but not as high of goals, just like barely hitting them. So always remember to focus on you and then focus on your team second. But be there for them. It's definitely important to support your team. On your calendar, you want to choose times that you can dedicate to your team. And one thing that's helped me out, and Melanie recommends, is setting up times for one-on-one calls and team calls. So this is obviously our time for team calls where you can ask questions and do all of that. But also one-on-one calls is really good because your coach can ask you questions during that time. And usually they ask a ton of questions and it's really interactive and it's great. And then they can go on for the rest of the week doing all their stuff and then meet again the next week. So one-on-one calls are really great, but choose the times to do them so that you're not doing them throughout the entire week. Melanie does Monday and Wednesday mornings. The times that I do one-on-one calls with my personally sponsored coaches is basically all day Monday, Tuesday evenings, and Thursday mornings. So that's what works for me. You guys can choose what works for you. And she recommends Acuity Scheduling. It's a free website where coaches can request a call with you. So you can set it up so that it's different types of calls, like a coaching call, all different types of calls. And that way you don't have to necessarily reach out to your coaches, that you just send your team the link and they can go there anytime to set up a one-on-one call with you. So this is the last slide, and it's your call to action. And really these are just notes from Melanie. First, she chooses the 3 things from her master list each day that she's going to tackle. And I just wanted to quickly show you guys here. I have the day designer. I can't see me right now, so I'm hoping you can see my page. But basically, what you do is, again, I can't really see it, so I'm hoping you can see this. But I have a master list over here, and I should show you Monday because Monday was completely insane. So Monday, I have all of these things to do. And then up here, which I have been doing, but not today or this day, you write only the top 3 things. So what basically are your frogs? What must I do and get done out of this entire list? And then I plan them here. So for me, I use pen and paper. Melanie does online calendars and her phone calendar and all of that. So it can be either way, pen and paper, this, apps, anything. Just make sure you're tracking what needs to be done and the top 3 most important things each day that you must get done. Block off family time or me time. You'll need it. And focus on the end result, especially times where you feel like no one is responding to your messages or people keep saying no. The end result is you being super successful, and maybe you don't want to be a coach full-time, which is totally fine. But maybe you do want that income to pay off your student loans, or maybe you want to take vacations with your family without worrying about the money aspect of it. And to get there, you need to push through the hard times, push through the no's, push through those times where you really want to press the snooze button or you really want to skip a week of workouts, because that all happens to us, right? So focus on the end result and doing those daily activities that will get you to where you want to be in 3 years or 5 years, whatever your long-term goal is. All right, let's see. Yep. All right, thoughts, questions, comments? You can unmute yourself too, or maybe I'll unmute all of you. Okay, you're all unmuted. No thoughts? How are you guys on time management? Like, is this definitely something that helped you, or are you pretty good on time management?
I just read.
Sam, it's Lindsay. Oh, sorry.
Nope. I just finished reading Eat That Frog, and I really, really liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
So
yeah, go ahead, Lindsay.
I'm sorry. So this is Lindsay. I'm relatively still a new coach because, as Sam knows, I do 75 different things. I work a full-time job. I'm a new mom. I judge cheerleading, and I run a cheerleading program as well as I coach cheerleading. So to add this to my repertoire was kind of nerve-wracking and something that I want to do but wasn't quite sure, so I've still kind of been antsy on it. So the time management skills or ideas are very important and very necessary for me. But what about those people that don't have an hour a day or even a half hour a day to throw something to it? What do you suggest for that?
So what I would recommend is creating that list of things that you need to do. Mm-hmm. So, and for people,
is that like more weekly or is that daily? I guess I missed a little bit of the beginning of that.
I would say, so the whole idea, and you should definitely read Eat That Frog, because his advice is come up with the monthly goal, right? So what do you need to do throughout the entire month? You need to recruit coaches. You need to host a group, or maybe you're joining your coach's group. You need to do a whole bunch of things. So come up with your monthly list. Break that down to what you need to focus on this week. For example, on Sunday, we have a PJ party, which is where it's a coaching opportunity event. So a focus for this week would definitely be to promote that. So, and then break it down from there. What should I do today that will help me reach those goals? So maybe one post for that.
So you can, it's kind of, so from what I'm getting from that, you just said, it's kind of what you choose. So maybe monthly first or weekly first, and then break it down to however you need to.
Yep, exactly. And if you don't have an hour a day, if you have 30 minutes every other day, then you got to work with that, And so for me, the business moving activities are inviting people and following up with people. So if you have 30 minutes whenever, those are the two things I would focus on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Sam, it's Jillian. I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not really a question. It's just a statement that it takes me so long to do specifically my challenge group invites and coach invites. I don't know, I'm mostly doing Instagram because my Facebook network is pretty small. So I'm going on there, I'm searching all the hashtags, and I'm clicking on people. I'm not scrolling. I'm not wasting my time, I don't think. I'll get to someone's page, I look at it adequately. I just feel like it takes me a really long time to find people who either aren't coaches or don't already have a program and are just purely people who are interested in fitness. Do you have any tips? Do you send invites to people who maybe don't have anything fitness related on their page? I don't understand why it's taking me a really long time to get that done.
I mean, in my opinion, if you're spending the majority of the time looking at the people's accounts to make sure that they're not a coach, you might want to use different hashtags. So hashtags that no coaches would use, be super specific. I'm trying to think of an example of a hashtag I would use for you, but basically use more specific hashtags that not many coaches would use. And so that way you have less time to worry about that. One thing that I do that specifically works well for me on Instagram when I am inviting people is I actually do it sorry, I'm trying to mute someone because I am hearing extra noise.
It might be my car. I'll mute myself.
So what I do is on my computer, I'll go to Instagram.com and I will search for a hashtag there. And then what I'll do is I just open a new tab for 20 people, the first 20 people that I see, the 20 unique peoples. And then I go to their pages, and on your computer, it's super easy to see. Sometimes it'll say Beachbody coach right in the bio, so I X out. Sometimes you'll see a Shakeology post, so you X out. Sometimes you'll see they're from the UK, so you X out. And by the time I get through all 20 people, there's usually about 7 to 10 of quality people. Then, and it was super, really, really easy to see on a laptop. And then I use my phone and I search for their name and send the invite that way, because you can't do it on a laptop. So that might be a little bit quicker for you in terms of finding the right people to invite.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. My phone is definitely really small, and I'm using the hashtags right now, fat to fit, flab to fab, and I feel like there are a lot of people there. But yeah, anyway, I guess it just takes practice too. But thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say practice makes perfect too. With anything, even expanding your network, it takes time to learn what market you want to attract, how to find them, what messages to send. And I have scripts for all of that, but it's still uncomfortable initially, and then once you get comfortable, it's okay, how many do I do? Do I do as many as I can? Do I spend too much time on this or just a little bit of time? But practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the quicker it'll get for you.
I guess I have another question. I find that once I do get in the groove, it's easier to find people who might be coaches, because when you're posting about your health and everything and you're already you seem somewhat on track, then that makes me want to invite you as a coach rather than someone who might need help in a challenge group. Is there anything that sticks out to you when you are differentiating the invite?
Yeah, usually for some reason I stumble a lot on Weight Watchers people. And so for Weight Watchers, I feel usually they're pretty happy with the Weight Watchers program. And so I find that I used to invite them to a challenge group and they're no, I love what I'm doing. So I invite them to the coaching opportunity. But in terms of people and their posting, if they look like they're on a journey and they've already seen a transformation, I do coaching. If they look like they're on a journey and they're on a transformation, but they're just starting, they might have, somehow I stumble upon people who like share their progress. And so maybe one week it was like, I gained 2 pounds and they share about that. So something like that, I would do a challenge group invite. But to be completely honest, I do 90% on Instagram is coaching. Because I'm like, if you're sharing your journey, you're doing half the battle of coaching already, right? So
Right,
a lot of the people that I do on Instagram are coaches.
Okay. And you do reach out to people who are already on Weight Watchers. I mean, I think that's another thing. I immediately exit out of their page if I see any kind of other fitness program, and there's a lot of them out there. Do you find that one kind of fitness people, already in a program are more receptive to Beachbody than others? Do you not discriminate?
I do discriminate. I don't invite any competitors. So like It Works, Advocare, Isogenics, they don't compare at all, but they're too similar, where I fear if I invited them, they would just like take my clients or take my coaches or something. I'm like super paranoid about that. But people who do Weight Watchers, I feel like that's so well known, and there's not like a specific shake that they have to drink or a specific workout program they have to do. So Weight Watchers I'm fine with. There's Kayla Itzines, or I don't know how you say her name, but that's another program, and the Fit Girls Guide is one. So I do go after those people. When I'm doing invites on Instagram, I was tracking it once, and I sent 30 invites once. Over the course of 2 days, I sent 30 coaching invites. 5 people got back to me, and I think 1 or 2 signed up as a coach. So I send so many to a lot of different types of people, but they're not all interested. They don't all see it and all of that. So I don't judge too much on Instagram unless it's a competitor.
Okay, and so that makes sense. Like the Fit Girls Guide, the Weight Watchers, people aren't coaching under those systems, so it would make sense to invite them as coaches rather than try to. I mean, I guess you're introducing a new system to them, but that's what you're saying. Like those would be potential
Right.
coaches.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? No? Okay. Well, if no one has any questions, I think we're all set for tonight. I will just let you guys know that with the recording, I'll post those dates that I mentioned in the beginning so that for those of you that missed the call or hopped on a little bit late, you guys will be able to see them. And then next week, we're having our first guest speaker. And she's going to talk more about her coaching journey and where she started, which was a pretty low place, how she got to where she is today, and how she makes Success Club a priority and how she hits it every month. So I'm excited for that one. But if you guys have any questions about this, just comment in the comment section below where I post this recording, and I can talk more about that then. Thank you guys for hopping on. Have a great night. Bye.